Hi, welcome to part two. If you go to the description below, there should be a link to this PDF you see here off my Google Drive. And as usual, you still have permission to download. If you go in the upper right, you'll have the options to download. So, yeah, I just want to briefly go over part two. There's more of a spiritual aspect. With part one, I pointed out there's not a single verse referring to the Lord. It's really referring to the bodily aspect. Okay, part one. Okay, we're gonna take a look at Luke 12:36 to 59, the parable. All right, this is more referring to what's going on in the spiritual realm. All right, and in that aspect, the idea of return, like I talked about earlier in part one, the idea of somebody comes back and they stick around for a while. All right, that fits what's going on spiritually, but not bodily. The Bible does not support that at all. All right. So anyway, let's just take a quick look here. So here's Luke 12:36 to 59. And so, and ye yourselves like unto men. Now he's speaking to the disciples. To the ye here yourselves is referring to the disciples. He's not referring to somebody thousands of years later. All right, this is basic grammar. All right, God is not the author of confusion. Okay, I think that's in 1 Corinthians. So having said that, you can go with the grammar of the scriptures. All right, I actually had somebody point out, oh no, you can't do that. It's God's word. He's not the author of confusion. And so I have been across the entire spectrum, okay, when it comes to eschatology, except I never held to the historicist view. And I have learned that, yes, you are supposed to be paying attention to these things. You know, I use the acronym C tags. If you watch some of my other videos, you'll note that I go over this. So C stands for chronology, T stands for time indicators, A stands for audience relevance, G stands for grammar, and S stands for setting. So we already covered audience relevance and grammar just right here. First three words right there. And so if you don't pay attention to this, you're going to go off one path. And if you do pay attention, you're going in a different path. And the gap is wide. When you start studying this topic, if you don't pay attention to things, you are going to go, and I mean, okay, and not know it and think you're right. All right? There's all these different views of eschatology. They all think they're right. And so that's why it's so important to pay attention to those five things. Then, when you get those five things to work nicely, then you're in alignment with the author's intent. All right? So anyway, so verse 38, and if he shall come the second watch, or come the third watch, and find him so blessed with those servants. So are we to say that Jesus is supposed to return 3 times? Okay? This is spiritual. Alrighty, so draw near to God, He'll draw near to you. I'm not talking about the initial point of salvation. That's a whole different can of worms. All right, I'm talking about after salvation, draw near to God and draw near to you. Okay, so I just wanted to point those things out. And alrighty, so He says He will return. This is spiritual. All right. So we need to first understand the spiritual aspect on an individual level. So Galatians 4:6, and because you are sons, God has sent forth the Spirit of His Son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father. So the point I'm trying to make here is on an individual level at this point. Okay. And then spiritual aspect on a corporate level. So Galatians 4:31, free woman is our spiritual mother. Alrighty. So now we're getting more on the corporate. So the New Testament is about our spiritual mother, all right? And for the futurists, they're just blind to it. They have pushed our spiritual mother aside, and they made it about me, myself, and I. It's all about me. And no, it's about our spiritual mother, the Jews who came to Christ in the first century, all righty? Paul is a part of our spiritual mother who's actually writing this, and him being an apostle of the Gentiles, explain this to you, me, okay, that we can understand it. Here's Greek lexicon for that. Alrighty? And so these passages have to do with our spiritual mother, not us. We love to make it about ourselves, okay? So Luke 21, did come to pass and look up. He's talking to disciples. Now, they had what's called oral traditions back then. The Jewish people, when talked about oral traditions, thinking Second Timothy, if I remember right. Um, a lot of Roman Catholics try to spin that into more a church tradition, but no, it was really talking about the Jewish tradition. During those times, they had papyrus to write on, and it was a rare commodity. It was a valuable commodity. It was not something like paper like today. It's just paper everywhere. I mean, it was expensive to get, and that's why it's rare that they. It's a special thing when they write down something down, and so they use oral traditions instead, and they keep reiterating. Like for example, Jesus, who's the Word, shared the Olivet Discourse with them. You can bet during the whole time the oral tradition going around sharing what Jesus said. Alrighty. So anyway, um, so he's referring to them. Alrighty, and then just 4 verses later, he gives a time frame. This generation not pass away until all these things take place. Alrighty, so it had to happen before the end of 70 A.D. And so they fled the temple. That's documented by Josephus. So sometime after they fled, our mother, spiritual mother, after they fled the temple, when it had to take place. Alrighty, on a corporate level. Alrighty, again, go back to here on a corporate level. Alrighty. And so in the next passage, 1 Thessalonians 4:13-18, and she'll always be with the Lord. That is the aspect of return aspect where you're sticking around for a while. Always, okay? So to refer to our spiritual mother, not us, the word we there, all right? Paying close attention to grammar. So our spiritual mother was part of the Church of Thessalonica. You also had the 7 churches in Asia that are also part of our spiritual mother. Alrighty. Galatians, you also had Jews who came to Christ in there. There was a lot of Gentiles in Galatia as well, but it was but the Gentiles back then were not part of the spiritual mother. Okay, the Gentiles were the adopted, the grafted in, if you will. They're still part of the promised seed, though. Okay, Ephesians chapter 2, talk about being one body. Okay, so anyway, and then they had the marriage up to the Lamb. That's when the regeneration took place. Alrighty, this took place in that 1260 prophecy, where they fled the temple, and so our mother experienced a marriage supper of the Lamb. Alrighty, the idea of marriage supper marks a new beginning. Okay, so the old covenant was consummated, it was wrapped up, done away with. Okay, now the new beginning. This is in 70 A.D. Now the new beginning, the marriage supper of the Lamb, and then it takes off from there. Alrighty, if you look at this spiritually, the darkness in the air from the cross to 70 AD kept going down, and then finally it took off with the marriage supper of the Lamb. Alrighty, that's a whole different study in itself, study of spiritual darkness. But there's a channel called New Cosmos channel where there's actually a video where he actually goes over that. He crafts it out with what's going on there. And then Revelation 21-22, again, apply to our spiritual mother. Alrighty, I know. Again, the difference between taking the time indicator seriously or not, it's just wide. And when you don't take the time indicator seriously, you just drift. So anyway, again, this is me speaking, who's been across the entire spectrum. Okay, it is so important to take the time indicators of the scriptures seriously. All right, otherwise you're not going to see these things. All right. So anyway, so when we talk about return here, which is the only verse really referred to as a return, that is really referring to what's going on in the spiritual realm, and then hopefully with the passage you can see what is actually being talked about. Alrighty. All right. Well, thank you very much. I know I don't have the best voice, but hopefully I make it up with these interactive PDFs for you that I make. So, all right. Well, thank you very much. Have a great day.